Okay, Richie. How do I describe Richie? Well, firstly, I looked up his profile on LinkedIn and it's really boring. So I decided I'd forget that and write something else. So,
Definitely.
more pertinent, I think, than his LinkedIn profile is that despite his small stature and mediocre looks, he makes up for all of this with unrelenting charm, humor, passion, and enthusiasm, throwing everything, absolutely everything, into everything he does. I only met this guy properly at Fully Charged this year when he asked for my autograph and a selfie. But I could tell straight away that the industry has got quite a character in its midst. And Richie, it's been a pleasure to get to know you over the last few weeks. And over to you, mate.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, mate. And hello to everyone and everyone else who's linked in with us as well. I think Carlos kind of stole my thunder a little bit. I think, with regards to community and what have you, I think I'm working in the industry for such a short time, but working in events for such a long time, I've really noticed a wholesale change here. I think one of the biggest factors with regards to events in particular, ITT Hub I went to, which was fantastic. You guys at the EV Cafe absolutely smashed it as well. But, with our show at Fully Charged, it was that community spirit. It wasn't just about the visitors coming in, thirsty for knowledge, already, armed with knowledge, but thirsty for more. But it was the collaboration between everyone. We're all seem to be pulling in the same direction. And I think that's absolutely unique. It's fascinating. It's fascinating with the united sort of cause that we've got. We were really lucky. We apart from experiencing every single weather type over the 3 days, we enjoyed a huge amount of visitor interaction. We had about nearly 23,500 visitors over the 3 days. I mean, you just try and get your head around that. I mean, in my spare time, there's very few spare time I get. I go fishing, and I go to fishing shows because it says fishing above the door. Everybody that came to our show is interested in clean energy and electric vehicles. So we've got no tire kickers out there, nobody that shouldn't be there. Everybody was relevant, everybody was important, every voice is important as well. So 23,222 to be precise. And if you add all the exhibitors in there, we would have smashed probably 20, 24, 20, just 24,500 people. Now, I can't really think of an event, with so many people there, all thinking on the same page. Carlo's show was fantastic, and to mimic that, to compare it, we had 200 plus exhibitors at our show, and that also ranged from a unicycle to Dennis Eagle's bin lorry, and I think each is equally valuable. Our audience comes in there into the show, and they look around, and they're on the edge of finding out their next step. It's not just what they do now. People are very, very informed in our industry, which is great. And I think it's part of the DNA of the people that are into it. So, but they want to know what's next. What's the future? What's the next 5 years look like? What's the next 10 years look like? Even what's the next 5 minutes look like? And I think that's where exhibition events, I think that's where they come into their own. Looking online, looking at brochures, looking at those types of things is a fantastically useful way of finding information and getting involved in information. But it's paper and pen and it's images. Okay, but getting hands-on, like I like to get hands-on, getting hands-on with people like yourself, getting hands-on with people and the industry, I think it's got to be the way. Why not get on a bus? Why not, have a go with the bin lorry? Why not have, be part of the virtual reality? Get into the plane. Don't just look at the plane. Look at what's new. Look at all the different chargers are out there. Look at the next thing, the bendy charger, you name it. It was there. You know what? And people walk around the corner of our show, and there were a lot of corners, a lot of exhibitors, a lot of partners. And they looked around the corner. They weren't really sure what to see next. And that was the fantastic part about it. And we anchored that with some absolutely incredible theatres. All of you guys there, I think you've all got involved in panel discussions. And when I went in there, the wealth of knowledge between you guys is staggering. And you're right. My LinkedIn profile is significantly more boring than all of yours. So, but when I went into the theatres and listened to people like, Curbs and Sarah talking, you sit in awe with this, and so does the audience, and the audience is there, and they're thirsty for that next step, that next knowledge, and what have you. So, I'd like to just make a huge shout out to absolutely every single individual that made the effort to come to our show. Okay, everybody, Every single person, from the little kid that was playing with the octopus, throwing it around, cuddly toy, throwing it around, to the business guy that signed up the deal that was like 100 bikes over the next 2 years. Every single one is equally important to me. I suppose my job, I mean, maybe I'm getting paid by the minute here, but my job is to add flavour and colour, whatever you want to do. Add flavour and colour to events. It's an exciting enough industry, but what we do at Fully Charged is we make sure that we do it with pizzazz. Yeah, we do it, and we're showmen. Give me like a crushed red velvet jacket and a high hat and call me the showman. But that's what we have to do to make sure.
Sam Clark.
We all thought you were genuinely taking the mick out of his actual red velvet crust.
Oh, right. Yeah,
we call him Bellboy. You can
Yes.
call him whatever you like.
I've actually seen that. You have to lend it to me. It might be a bit longer than sleep, mate.
Apparently, you're
A bit tight on the
smartest
shoulders.
dressed man, according to Sam Rawson as well.
Say again.
You're the smartest dressed man, according to Sam Rawson in the chat box.
Oh,
Who?
wow, there you go.
See?
Me? Oh, there you go. Not bad. Not bad.
Everyone's crazy for that sharp-dressed man.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh,
Richie, when I did my panel session, Rob asked the show of hands out the audience how many people came in an EV or otherwise, and the show of hands was 50-50, which I thought was really interesting. I was expecting it to be, because we've always wondered, is it preaching to the converted? Is it, is it very niche? And it is, it's a small industry still, but it's growing so quickly. But to know that half of the audience, and there was sort of, I don't know how many hundred people were there, but certainly in the theatres, I think half of them are going to be leaving with loads of EV knowledge in their brains that they perhaps didn't arrive with. I think it's just such a fantastic thing to be able to do. So long may that continue.
Yeah, I mean, going on from that, is that, last year we did some really clever, or clever people than I did, some really good sort of post-show research. Okay, and when you do that, it gives you a brilliant insight into what your audience want and expect. So as somebody who's creating a show, that kind of steers my ship. So give them what they want, is a really good mantra to sort of have. But with 50% of the audience putting their hands up, then you've got a 50% audience that are, I use the word thirsty again, thirsty for their next step. But the post-show the research said that 85% of the people that came to Fully Charged, not this year because we haven't got the post-show research, but the year before, 85%, their next vehicle purchase was going to be an EV. Okay, so all of a sudden you can see where the shift will be. So come 2023, those stats might be even better. You'll be presenting in the theatre hopefully next year, and then you'll be asking a similar question. And let's have a look how many hands go up then.
Right, Mr. Smart Dressed Man.
How does that sit with you guys? Look at you all, eh?
You fit right in, Richie. You fit right in, mate.